Hi everyone. A lot of the time I get asked, and I'm sure it's a topic that you've discussed, is what does it look like to be successful? What is success? Well, I think it varies from person to person, but there's a blueprint and a roadmap that you can follow, which gives you such a higher chance of being successful and achieving the level that you want to become. Now, the problem is here, which I've seen over the years, is that people measure success by how much you have in your bank account. But I want to make it pretty clear here. You can have all the money in the world, but if you've got nobody to share it with, what's the point? If you've earned that money in an unethical way and no one will do business with you again, what's the point? Some people that are watching this might think, well, I love just having money and that's all that matters, but it isn't. You need your health. You need your family. There's so much more to life than just having money. And I know that people need money to survive, but there's a way to get it where you actually go to sleep at night and feel like you've done a good thing. So behind me now, I've got some steps which I've followed. There's a blueprint that's been laid out for over years and years and years. And these are key things we need to be doing that gives us that much higher chance to be the success we want to be. So I'm going to turn around now and we're going to go through some key points. But get that pen and paper ready because these points are really going to help you reach the level that you want to. There's a blueprint laid out here, step by step, follow it, and the chances are you will be the success you want to be. So let's turn around now. Now the first point is be prepared. You have to be prepared on a daily basis. Know what's going on. Have a routine set up. What does your day look like? When you wake up, what routine do you follow? Once you've got that, sometimes when you wake up, you really don't want to do anything. But if you've got that routine and you're prepared, all of a sudden it's like one step follows the other. And before you know it, you're doing so much for the day. A lot of successful people will talk about that morning routine. Have a look into it. Have at least 4 or 5 things you look to do. And it has that knock-on effect and builds that momentum. These are tried and tested things. It's not just from me, it's experience of many people before us that have been successful. Now, what's the next point? Know your numbers. Now, what do I mean by this? I see it so many times with salespeople. They want to reach this target and they have no idea how to get there. Well, how many calls does it take? How many meetings? How many follow-ups? How many calls and meetings and follow-ups does it take for you to hit those numbers? What did last month's look like when you didn't hit your numbers? What percentage do you need to continue to do that? Who in the office has been hitting their numbers? How many calls have they been making? As I said, and I'll keep on saying this, what we're doing now, nothing is original. A roadmap has been laid out, a blueprint that if we model, we have a much higher chance to be successful. So please, what are your numbers and what does it take for you to reach that number you want to get to? The next point. This is a big difference between if you're successful and not successful, because successful people leave their egos at the door and they're willing to ask for help and advice. Advice and help is so vital. I keep saying this, a roadmap has been laid out before us and a blueprint, and if we follow it the right way and we ask the right questions, we're such a higher chance of being successful and reach that level you want to. So who around you can you ask for help and advice that is going to get you to that next level? Which manager you get inspired by? Which friend is doing well? They'll be happy to talk to you about how they're being successful, and if they're not willing to help you, then they're not the right people that you should be around anyway, because you should have an OQP, only quality people that surround you and you work together on this. Now, the next point here is always be learning. But we can watch as many YouTube videos as we want, we can read as many books as we want, but if you're not applying it to your daily work, then it's not going to work. How do you know what works if you just watched a YouTube video? You need to action it. Oh, that was a really good point in that video. Let me try that with a client. Did that work? No. Let's try something else. You have to apply this. I've always said that you need to keep on learning, but if you're not actioning it each day, you're going to get nowhere with it. You'll be the best librarian that there is, but you won't be successful at what you're trying to do. Now, this leads me to my next point. Know your strengths and weaknesses. S&W, strengths and weaknesses. Now, how do we find this out? Now, you yourself, if you have self-awareness, then you will know what's good and what's bad. But it's a good chance here to ask people what they think is good and bad about you. You have to be willing to listen to them though, because what you think you're good and bad at, they might see differently. And be open to that discussion. There's no problem with sitting with someone and speaking about it, as long as it doesn't reach that level of argument. Be open to somebody having an opinion and take it as it is. If you're willing to do that, there's so much you can learn, you can apply and become better at what you do. So your strengths and weaknesses, what are they? You need to understand them better. That leads me to, and this is the biggest one. Be a problem solver. A client has a problem, you're there to solve it. Every bit of success that you ever see going on within these big companies is they've listened or they've understood that people have problems, they've been the solution, and they've earned fortunes from it. And if you're doing it the right way, it's that ticket to success, because you're doing it in an ethical way. Someone's got a problem and you're coming up with a solution, and there's nothing better than that. They will appreciate you so much for it. So please, if you're in a business right now and you're telling people more about features and you're not speaking about benefits, you're in the wrong game. Understand the problem, tell them with features, sell them with benefits. A little sales tip there, but we're going to continue on now, okay? This one here, my God, this is the reason why I get up every single day. I'm consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent with what you do. You don't need to be doing a million things each day, because you're going to get burnt out. It happens with so many of us, and I've had it in the past. You're trying to do so much each day. Break it down. If you can do 5 things each day, it's going to continue. You're seen out there. You're seen as Mr. Reliable. You're seen as Mr. Consistent. It's what makes the difference. Be there, be reliable to somebody, and they will want to work with you and want to give you business. This leads me to my last one. Sorry I keep jumping in here, but this here, my God. Never give up. 3 feet from gold, that's the best example I can give. A guy bought a field, and he believed that there was gold there, and he kept digging, and in the end he gave up, and he sold all the equipment, he sold the land, and some guy came along, and the reason why he found the gold was because he had been learning about what to do, and when it arrived, he knew exactly what to do. And he continued digging for 3 feet, and he struck the gold. And I think this is so true. We work so hard, we keep on trying, and we do so much on a daily basis, and we don't see it working out. But it's this momentum that's building, and then we're so close to doing it, we give up, we move on, and it never happens. So please, never give up. Now let's go through these points again. Be prepared. Know your numbers. Ask for help and advice. Always be learning and apply it to what you're learning. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Ask people what they feel about you, what they get inspired by about you, and what they think you need to work on. Be a problem solver. A client has a problem, you're there to solve it, you're going to be a success. Be consistent every day, work on yourself, work on what you're learning, apply it every single day. And the last one, never, ever, ever give up, because it will happen for you. It might not be your time right now, but keep building and you will hit it and you will be a success. Whatever success looks like to you, if you can be doing this each day, all day, every day, you're going to get there. It's a roadmap, it's a blueprint, it's been laid out before us. It's what I've been working on, and it's the reason why I'm going to reach the success I want to. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If maybe there's something you've got an opinion about, let's have a discussion. Remember, I'm willing to listen to people. Always be learning. Now, that's it for today. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow.